Yes.
April 4th?
April 4th.
April 4th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Chris is here with the police department.
Yes, sir.
You want to come up? I have two agenda items for you.
You got
You want to hold that button down, make sure that light comes on that.
The very end.
Where?
Yeah, there's a light on the back.
It's on top. There you go. Hold it down and it should come on.
Oh, it is? Okay.
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 Done?
Say
Okay.
test.
Okay, we got word from PERF, and our new hiree transfer passed everything. He's recommended to be hired by the board. We're waiting for medical clearance from the PERF board, so we won't announce his name yet because of in case he doesn't have something.
Right.
But we want you guys to give us approval to hire him. It should be Phyllis, I think, or when he said Thursday or Tuesday.
It'll be Tuesday at the latest.
At the
But the
latest,
doctor
so-
will review it on Thursday.
The review as part of he passes his he's passed his psychological and his medical. So if they call us either Tuesday or Thursday of this week or next, which is next Tuesday, I guess, we'd like to move forward to put him on the police department.
Any questions?
His background is all complete. He passed his background check, polygraph, and all that stuff's already been passed.
Okay, so we're just waiting on the medical?
And he's been recommended by the medical board, but not for that sign off yet.
Okay. I'll make a motion that if he passes the medical examination, he gets...
Second.
And then with that, we'd like to, we had worked out the bonus for him, a $5,000 bonus, and then the week's vacation. That was discussed with you guys to move forward with that also once he passed everything.
The lateral bonus.
The lateral bonus, yes.
Okay.
He's got 3 years experience. He's been to the academy and has a wealth of knowledge for us.
Right. And save the city a bunch of money.
Definitely saves a bunch of money when we do hire a lateral.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to...
I didn't. So on the first one was to go ahead and move forward with hiring him. I had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Okay. And this is the extra.
Approve for the lateral bonus and week's vacation.
Yes.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay.
And that's all I have for you guys.
Approval to use Betty Waters funds for a fire extinguisher trainer. Do you know anything
That
about
was
that?
fire department.
That's fire department? Yeah, and that's on the council, really.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
We'll take the fire thing.
Sorry about that.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Jeff, you want to come up? I've already prefaced what you want, so I've already prefaced what you're asking for. So
That'll be in council. Because it's,
spending of funds.
What was it called? What fund?
isn't that council? The
Betty
Waters.
Yeah, I told him already. That was council.
Okay. So here we don't have. I guess yours is gonna be council.
He has it for the EMA.
That's council also, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're I moved that one down to council.
We just wanted you to have your exercise. Oh.
Okay.
Oh, I thought it was a canine.
So we're scratching that deal with Jeff.
It'll
Right now,
be,
that'll go to council. That's fine. What's next?
Okay, so, we do need to make a matter of record, we're changing the retirement date of Nan Everett. We'll discuss more about that in the next meeting in May, but we do need to make a matter of record that she is going to retire on April 28th instead of in May, right?
Yeah, just to line it up, her retirement date up with PERF, she had to retire before May 1st. So her last day to work is Friday, April 28th.
So we will, we'll bring her in May 2nd, recognize her. She's been here again 50 years in the Parks Department, so. So we just need to make a matter of record the change of her retirement date.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. Jeremy here? Yeah, Jeremy. You want to come on up?
Back in roughly 2016, we
Yep.
were required by the state of Indiana in LTAP to create an asset management plan. What that asset management plan does is it identifies basically street conditions, kind of gives you, that's for everybody to share there. Basically, I heard that well. Gives you a roadmap to what your needs are throughout your community due to paving, crack sealing, preventive maintenance. And it really it aligns with the community crossings program and also with the federal aid, the 80/20 projects that are out. The asset management requirement has worked very well for a lot of communities, including ours. There were several communities that had no plan whatsoever. They would get up in the spring, go out, kind of look, say, well, I think we want to pay this, this, and that. You know, this gives you basically a 5-year plan of where you're going to be, 5 years from now. It's worked so well that now NDOT has got with Indiana LTAP, which is our technical assistance program through Purdue, and now they are requiring it for federal aid projects. There is several different categories that need to be added to everyone's asset management plan throughout the state of Indiana. I personally have not had the training to do it. The training has been made available. I did created our first plan, which is still acceptable through the state. It just basically needs there's about 6 different categories that need to be added to each roadway segment. There's a proposal there from USI Consultants. I gave away my copy.
14.5.
Not to exceed $14,500 to have them do that work. So, one, I would highly recommend having this work completed. I am interested in taking the class. The class has been made available to me. But right now, I don't think the timing is going to work to get through the class and be able to make these adjustments. So, and then also, we will be coming out of our only federal aid project that we have going on right now with 5 Points. So by making this change, it will make us eligible to, in the future, to be able to apply for additional federal aid. So if there's any other projects that you guys are thinking that you may want to do down the road, just remember it's a good 3 to 5 years before it would ever go to construction. So there's a lot of forethought that needs to go into, if you're thinking you're going to want to see something. It's a good idea to start thinking about that. Historically, we've come out of one federal aid project and had basically another one in the hopper.
Do you have to have one finished before you apply for another one?
No.
Okay.
We can apply at any time. We just need to have this plan updated, which it's only just a couple-month process to get this updated.
Okay.
Me that with 662 individual segments for a cumulative length of 60.39 miles, I don't think you got time for that.
I don't. I definitely want to take the class
Okay.
to be able to get to that point to be able to do it, just to have the knowledge, but not right now.
I would recommend, I think you've done a great job asking for the money with the grants that you've applied for, but I think this is a little beyond our scope.
It just takes us to the next level.
And I think if we're going to receive federal money in the future, I think it's a good start. I'd make a recommendation that we utilize USI for for this hourly not to exceed $14,500 to take care of this.
And it would be paid out of all Corona Street funds.
You got the funding for it? All right. I make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you.
I'm not sure if that's your signature or mine, just one of us to sign it.
Do I need to make part of the motion? Can I rescind that motion and make an additional part, or you may make another one?
You can just make a new motion.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we allow Mayor Rickard to sign for the authorization to proceed.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Do you need one of these signed then? One?
I will, yes. It doesn't have to be right now, just if you could sign it and get back to me in a day or so.
Oh, yeah. Okay, next we have Kurt. We're going to discuss the sidewalk program. And or Jeremy, I don't know if you want to know on that too.
Yep.
I'm sure you'll want to critique that.
Here, Jeremy, I have a copy of this if you want. He's handing these out. He already gave me one earlier. No, I have one.
So at the last meeting, we brought up the discussion possibility of having a payment plan for our city sidewalk program for those that may be a little financially strapped. And so what we did was Jeremy actually got online and downloaded a few ordinances. We got a hold of City of Bern, we got theirs, we got Jasper's. Some of the ordinances we had didn't offer one, or they had a 70-30 program with an option to pay over a 3-year period. There was a couple that were pretty much in line with ours. So what we did is after going through those ordinances, we kind of came up with our own little version. And basically what we came up with was a plan where they had to pay at least 25% of the total cost of the sidewalk. And then once the sidewalk was done, the city would take out of the sidewalk fund the other 75%, and this would all get paid to the contractor. At that point, the homeowner or the property owner would have to pay the rest of that balance over the course of a year. But we didn't want to take it over more than a year. We thought 3 years was a little bit much. And basically what we did was we decided that what they would do is they would have to make a minimum payment of 8.5% of what the balance was each month until it finally paid off after 1 year. The only problem we see after talking with Phyllis is that this money that comes back in won't go back into the sidewalk program. I don't know if Phyllis, if you can elaborate on that a little bit.
It's just if it's paid on the budget, it doesn't get reappropriated, so it just goes in that cash of the CEDAC fund. But you can rebudget it for next year, but it's not added back in to pay for sidewalks.
And what is it 50,000 a year or 100?
$50,000 a year.
So basically, the issue would be is if we have a lot of people use that financing program, that 25% we're going to pay it out and we're not going to get it back. So it would go through the sidewalk program money faster. I mean, I'm hoping that not everyone uses it, but like this case that you're talking about is someone on a fixed income and they really want to have it done. They just couldn't afford all of it at one time.
We would still be pushing for a 50-50 program, but if we run across a property owner who just doesn't have the financing for it, but can't afford to pay, say, 25% up front and then make payments over the other 25% over the course of a year, then we could actually get that sidewalk done faster. The only drawback is we could, in the 6 years I've been here, we've never drained that sidewalk fund, and we've always tried to encumber any extra money into next year for other projects, other sidewalk projects. There's just a possibility that we could drain that fund. And once that fund is drained, then we're done. So if we spend it all by the end of August, we're done until next year.
But you can accumulate a list for the following year? If they're on the list, they're first to go next year? I got two questions on this. So basically, they got to come up with 25% of the 50% that they're going to do, and basically we're going to...
25% of the project.
25% of the project. The way it works now is they pay 50% of the total cost
Right.
up front to the contractor. And then once the sidewalk's done, the contractor invoices the city for the other 50%.
Okay.
So basically what I'm saying is they need to pay half of their half, or 25%
Up front.
up front.
Okay. And then they can finance the other at 8.5%? They have to pay a
We
minimum
came up
payment of
with
8.5% of the
we took
project?
100 divided by 12 months, and it came up to 8.3.
Right.
We rounded it to 8.5.
Okay.
That's the minimum payment. They can pay more to get it paid off sooner.
Okay. Next question. I don't see any rebar in here. Or wire mesh. You require that as a state or a city?
That's in our
Yes, we do.
code.
We actually have an ordinance on that.
Okay. I just didn't see it in the contract.
Our city contractors know exactly how to do these sidewalks. If a homeowner wishes to use another contractor, then we hand out a copy of our ordinance that specifies exactly.
But you do put either mesh or...
No, we put in number 4 rebar,
Okay.
half-inch.
And that's required?
And that's in ordinance 93.
Okay. I was checking. I didn't see it in the contract. I want to know.
It's in there. There's
All right.
actually 2 options for rebar.
Okay.
I would recommend that if you do pass this, that we monitor it for a 1-year period, and then see exactly if it works or doesn't work. If it works, great, but let's keep track of the amount of money that we're essentially losing or not being able to use, and look at possibly adjusting that budget the following year, so we're not running out.
One other question. When are we going to have ADA compliant corners prior to them putting in the new sidewalks? Because I don't want to tear something out and then you guys go...
That is paid through the...
Okay.
For the corners.
So prior to in the sidewalk, we're either going to establish a boundary on ADA accessible corners?
We normally have the same contractor do it.
Okay.
There's not a lot of contractors that do the corners, so our hands are kind of tied on that.
Okay.
But no, that is something that we handle.
We currently have 2 residents that would like to try this, and we'd like to do a test run with at least those 2 residents. See how it works.
Okay.
Go ahead.
What are the qualifications?
Sidewalks broken up by roots, or it's just weathered.
Not whether the sidewalk needs repaired or replaced, but what are the qualifications for the cost sharing?
To use the financing part of it. I mean, how are we going to decide
If they qualify.
if who gets to use the financing part?
Well, up to this point, it's just been basically, we were told they wanted to participate, and the individuals we talked to, and we basically explained to them what their cost was going to be. At that point, they explained to us they were on a fixed income, they couldn't afford to pay for it all up front.
Right.
I don't think it would be a bad idea, and I really wouldn't be opposed to just passing this and trying it for 1 year. And, I mean, if you try to talk people into paying 50% or see how this works, I don't think you'd have to necessarily qualify for it. You just have 2 options. Either you can pay half down, or you can pay 25% down and then make the payments. I don't want you to have to say someone can qualify and someone can't. I think it'd be just better, just general, see how it works, and if we need to change it, we can change it. I'm sure you'll be able to track what money has went back to the general fund.
All right.
And at that point, get you
We really don't want everybody to use this. We don't want everybody doing it this way.
Right.
Right, we're going to approach it with a 50/50 program, and we won't offer the payment program. each case, each property is going to be different. We won't know that until we get to that point. At that point, we may say, okay, we do have a payment program that we can go with and explain that to them. One of the residents we have right now, we're going to be doing sidewalks. We're going to be doing sidewalks across the street from Baker Plumbing for Grace Fellowship. They've signed up for the 50/50 program. They're actually going to do theirs. They go from Marshall to Nutman. They're going to do in front of Marshall. They're going to come all the way down 7th Street, and then they're going to come across Nutman, and then they own 610 Nutman, so they're going to do in front of 610. The gentleman next to them at 604 wishes to participate, but he's on a fixed income. If we can get him on the payment plan, he's more than willing to do so, and that would get us to the alley.
Right.
So, I mean, it's always better if we can do 1-4 continuous and keep going versus doing one lot here, skipping a couple lots, and then doing another lot, because that constitutes quite a bit of rework later when the ones who didn't participate first want to redo it.
Right.
Because 9 times out of 10, the sidewalks are flat with the street. The new sidewalks are 5 inches tall, so that means we got to come back at least 5 feet and taper those for safety. Well, if the gentleman in the middle who didn't participate decides he wants the sidewalk, we've got to come back 5 feet each direction to take the taper out. And that's new sidewalk that may only be 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah.
In that area you're talking, there's no sidewalk. People walking the street on that side.
It's flat.
Yeah, it's flat. It's flat. Yeah, Nutman is flat, Marshall is flat, and there is nothing on 7th.
Yeah.
You also have to take into consideration the amount that we paved in the last 3 years. You know, we're really cleaning up a lot of these neighborhoods that we haven't been in years. You know, we've done it 50/50 for ever since I can remember as a little kid.
Yeah.
My mom and dad participated in it back in the early 80s. It's always been a 50/50.
Yep.
I like the idea. I think it's a great plan to move forward.
Try it.
I'll make a motion that we give it a try.
As presented, or remove the requirement for qualification and just provide an option for payment of the 50% of their obligation, essentially pay in full by the
Upfront.
homeowners, or elect the 12-month payment option with 25% down.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
We will have different contracts.
Okay.
This one here is based off the original contract. All we did was modify the payment section because it does qualify.
Okay.
I think what Ian is saying, Kurt, is just maybe remove this project does not qualify and have 2 separate contracts. So this would be,
So we have 2 separate contracts, but this here that says this project does not qualify for the cost is on the 50/50 program. I didn't touch that. That's the way this contract was originally written.
Okay, so we just need to take out line out.
oh, so you're saying it's on the other
It's on
contract?
the other contract. All we did was take the original contract and modify where I have highlighted down. So the original contract,
Why would that line be on the other one then, I guess? Or was it?
They must not always do the cost share. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Well,
Is it participant? Before Kurt.
I think it was just that not all projects,
Yeah.
not all of them are qualified for the 50/50 project.
Okay.
So it didn't have this
It
cost.
wasn't, this isn't dependent upon a need based, it's simply they don't qualify for the 50/50
right,
sidewalk
that
program.
sidewalk, we get out there and that sidewalk's in really
It's
good
repaired,
shape.
then
Looks
they
like it's been done,
Fix it.
6-7 years ago. It's really not all that weathered. And then, it's, to be honest with you, we'll never check that box anyway. If it doesn't qualify, we'll tell them that. So technically, we could modify both contracts to take that out. I have no idea why that was on there to begin with.
Was that on there for new construction? Do you do?
For new construction, if someone puts up a new house or if they put up a new building, it's in our ordinance, they're responsible.
Yeah.
No, what I was asking is do they have to fill out one of these for new construction?
No,
Okay,
no.
so that wasn't one for that.
Motion.
Second.
So we're removing that line? Is that what Kurt's supposed to do?
There's just going to be two options, two contracts, right?
Two separate contracts. One will have the normal 50/50, the other one will be the payment program, and then we'll modify both contracts to get this project that's not qualifying.
Okay.
Okay.
Second.
Motion and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Okay, thanks. Okay, so... Do you have anything else for Board Works?
No.
Do you have anything else for Board Works? Anything for you guys, Board Works?
Stands here.
That's for council.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay, council meeting will start in 10 minutes.